Kristie. Oh my goodness, we have the eyebrow queen. So exciting. I'm going to do your makeup today, like very light, because I mean, she doesn't need any makeup. Look at this face. I love your look, and I love how like natural you are. So I'm going to just show how Monika Blunder Beauty can sort of enhance you just a little bit, you know. So for your skin, you have nothing on. I'm going to just use our undercover cream first, which, by the way, your salon, Strikey, also carries Monika Blunder Beauty, and you guys have undercover cream here. So it's not a new product to you. It is.
Mm-hmm. All your products sell really well.
That's amazing.
I mean, they're great products. So
thank you. So I'm going to use Thank you. I'm going to use undercover on you first, and then I'm going to add a little bit of our face oil, which actually I don't think you know or you haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
And put a little bit over, just for a little bit more hydration.
I'll try not to fall asleep.
Kristie, I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
My first question for you is, you made a name for yourself in the industry as a brow specialist. What made you choose to focus on brows? Did you always know you wanted to do brows?
You know, I didn't. I kind of fell into it. My first sort of real job was behind the counter, selling 3-step skincare for Clinique Cosmetics. I think I was like 18, just graduated high school. And I loved connecting with women and teaching them about their skin and you know, how to make themselves look and feel beautiful. And you know, Clinique was really great because they were really into educating their employees, and so I learned a lot about how the skin works, and that's what inspired me to go to esthetician school, which I did maybe a year later. And in esthetician school, they teach you kind of all waxing, really, not like brow shaping per se, but just how to remove hair. And obviously brow waxing was one of the things, and I really fell in love with like the instant gratification that like a really good brow gave. But I always still did makeup. So I was like skincare, makeup, brows, you know, kind of did a little bit of everything. Because back then there wasn't really the specialty that you see now.
Yeah.
And then I moved to New York a couple years later. It was in 2001. And I started to kind of specialize and focus on just brows, and was, you know, probably in the right place at the right time, and started doing a bunch of the editors at the different magazines. And, you know, all the girls at Vogue would think of me anytime, you know, a story would come their way, because I was going to their, I would do brows for them in their beauty closet, like this dark little tiny beauty closet. Did you ever do those desk
I did.
side appointments?
Yes, I love the desk side.
So fun.
So fun.
Yeah, and so...
And you saw that was probably a niche, right? Or there was a space in the market, because really, honestly, I think it's so brilliant to watch your career, because there's not that many brow specialists in the space. I mean, Anastasia, of course, I think set the paveway for it. But I love that you found this niche, and brows, to me as a makeup artist, I think brows are so important, and some people really forget how important they are, because they really frame your face.
Well, and I was a makeup artist to start, and so I think I knew that.
And you understood.
And I had a more artist approach to doing brows rather than, you know, what you're taught, unfortunately, in esthetician cosmetology school, is to really use wax. And that's why you see a lot of people doing brows using wax or thread, because that's sort of the way you're taught. But I realized that you could sort of have a more natural look and be a little more gentle on the skin if you know, applied an oil and just tweezed instead of waxed. And so I slowly started creating my own way with it and developing my own tints. I was like really into enhancing the hair you had rather than like removing it to create shape. So tinting was a huge thing for me, and I was one of the first to start doing that using the vegetable dye.
And I have to say, she did it on me. It was mind-blowing what it did to my brows when you tinted them, because my brows with age too, obviously you
Absolutely,
lose
yeah.
some of
They
your
lose
hair.
their pigment.
But what you did with just tinting them was mind-blowing to me.
Yeah,
So,
we don't really do a brow without tinting it first because we like to sort of richen everything that's there. And there's a lot of what's called vellus hairs in between the brow hair. So when you darken those, it really fills it in and makes them look fuller and thicker. And then we sort of tweeze sort of errant hairs to kind of even them out. But really keeping the majority of the brow, I thought it's like the best anti-aging trick ever, just a nice full fluffy brow. It's kind of like lashes, right? Like
it really is.
A nice full set of lashes is so beautiful and youthful
really is.
and like eye-opening, and it's the same for brows.
Yeah. And that leads me to the next question, because did you ever fall victim to the overplucking of the 90s, or did you stay strong and leave your brows untouched?
I wanted to look like Kate Moss like everybody else did.
Yeah.
I feel like in the 90s and early 2000s, that was the trend, is to have like a very tiny, super refined, that was the look. It was like a lot of makeup.
And it's kind of coming back.
Yeah, I know.
But
so I did do that, but I was able to grow them back. I kind of went back to my natural brow early enough, but I know I've been seeing a little bit more of that as of late. I mean, all trends cycle back,
right? And the thing is, you seem to me to be very similar in style than I am. I like classic, and trends are fun and everything, but at the end of the day, like a classic full brow, I think will always be in style. Right. And will always look like...
Well, and with makeup, it's so fun to experiment because it washes off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But with brow trends, I always educate people, and, I think it's important to experiment with your looks and try different things. I mean, we all should do that. But with brows, shaving them or bleaching maybe the hair rather than pulling it out to like experiment with different looks is what I always tell people, because when you pull the hair out, that's what can affect it from growing back.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that wants to try that like 90s skinny brow, there's even ways you can do it with brow glue,
Right, exactly.
Where you kind of like hide some of your hair and just work with like the top row.
Yeah.
You don't have to take them out.
Yeah, you don't have to take them out.
Because that's a lot of face for someone to rock that thin
I think
brow.
so too.
I mean,
it's a look.
Yeah.
It's definitely a look.
Yeah.
I just really quickly, because I didn't mention, I did her skincare, and then I went in with Blunder Cover in the shade 425. And honestly, she has such beautiful skin that I'm really just tapping. I'm not adding a lot of Blunder Cover. I'm just sort of like making her skin look even. And I just used it mainly in the T-zone with our hybrid brush. And now I'm going to just do a slight contour, but very light in the shade 625. So you launched your own brand, KS & Co. in the beginning of 2023. What was it like launching your own brand? What challenges did you face? What has been your greatest triumph since you started? And I can relate to you because I also started my own brand. And so I'm very curious to hear your answer.
I mean, of course, it's so exciting, right? Especially after doing brows for 20-something years. To finally create something that was really in line with my philosophy and my aesthetic, and something I was really proud of, because as you know, the market is quite saturated. There's a lot of products out there. And so I really wanted to create something that was true to me and it was authentic, but also that wasn't already out there. So it took me a long time,
and people don't realize how long it takes, right?
I know.
How many iterations did you have with your...
Well, because it wasn't just like a black label, like I put my name on it. I really
you went
researched. I had so many benchmarks and lab samples
and iterations probably, right? Back and forth, telling the
especially
chemist.
with the clear stronghold, because I wanted it to hold without being crunchy or flaky or leaving white. That was a hard one to do.
That's so hard.
And keeping it a clean formula too.
Yeah,
it's tricky. So I'm really proud of the line, and I'm really excited.
Beautiful.
And I feel like it's just so satisfying to use on people and show them and see people fall in love with it.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here a year out, I think...
Oh, it's a year only?
A year in January.
Okay.
I feel like I'm now like, okay, what's my next move? Like, what do I want to do?
Is that
Do I
fun?
like want to, be in Sephora? Do I want to,
Yeah. You
what
only
I,
doing direct to consumer right now?
yeah,
Okay.
right now we
Okay.
sell it in the studio and a few, like my sister Jen with
Yeah.
Scout and Duchess.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of keeping it a little bit more exclusive, which feels nice, but just sort of thinking about what my next move is and what feels the most like authentic. So
fair.
yeah.
I love that answer. And I
Yeah.
think it's nice to take your time,
Yeah.
and you have your salon and you have such a great audience here. I mean, you have like, I walked around your salon earlier and it's just the vibe in here is so magic. And like the people who come in here, it's just like these sophisticated women. And I feel like it's a great way to showcase your product. And like your own advertising in here, which is great.
It's good vibes. We try to have good vibes. But yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It is a lot though.
It's a lot.
Well, you're so good you're constantly promoting and out there and doing all the things. I feel like
you have to,
I know,
right? It's like the competition now is so big, and
that's what really sets you apart is you really are good about sharing it and teaching about it, and you have such an amazing story, and it's so authentic. And
thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. It's inspiring to me.
Thank you. All right, so I just did the 625, very gentle. Like you can see, I just brought out her cheekbones a little bit more. And I love this shade because it's more neutral. So it works really well. And I like because, especially the way how you wear your hair, like I love just kind of like bringing the darkness a little bit around her hairline. And it just kind of like gives her more of a like definition in her face. Like I'm not a big fan of just wearing one color. I like to go in with a darker shade to really bring out the cheekbones. And I even like it on the eyes. Like I bring the darker shade a little bit into the eye socket and I pull it upwards and outwards, and it gives you that nice little lift. But I love that like no makeup look on you. It just is so cool. My next question is, you have two super talented sisters who I'm also friends with and who created Strikey with you. What has it been working with your sisters? I know family can be tricky sometimes, but I love that you guys created this amazing brand together.
I mean, I think that it's always like so great to work with people that you're close to and trust, and there's just an ease to that. But, there's always issues working with anybody else, right? Like there's difference of opinions and everyone has their own ways of doing things. And so, it's taken a lot of patience and communication and
growing up
and lots of sister therapy. We were in like the first year that we opened the studio just to like learn how to be better communicators. Because, when you have these business conversations, you need to take that dynamic out. And that's really hard sometimes, like to speak as business partners and like set aside the personal stuff. So learning that, I think, was really important.
Yeah.
And helped us, and it made us a lot closer.
And communicating, like you said, is like, it's really like a marriage almost, isn't it?
Yes.
And you really have to, I have a business partner myself, Monika Blunder Beauty, and there are challenging times because sometimes you have different views, different opinions, but it's also great to have that support of someone else, and it's not all on yourself.
Yes. And now, it's been 10 years. This year in November will be 10 years. Both Jen and Ashley moved away during the pandemic.
They're both in New York
now. Their lives
now.
kind of brought them to different areas. Jen's in New York now, and my sister Ashley's up in Northern California.
Oh,
but
she's in.
They're in town a lot. Ashley comes here to strike and does.
So Ashley does hair. And Jen, I know the closest because she's a colleague of mine. She's a makeup artist, and her and I go way back. I met you
with Emily
later
because I feel like you used to do Emily
a little bit.
I think I met you.
We were on press junkets together. By the way, this shade on you, Rome. Ooh, oh my God! I just used the liquid flush in shade Rome. This is gorgeous on you.
I like it.
Yeah, but no, your sister, like one does hair. obviously you do brows, and then Jen is a makeup artist, and I just think it's such a great combo, and having that salon together is it's just genius. And the name Strikey with 3 eyes, genius.
Well, we're not really sisters, right?
No,
I'm just kidding.
What?
Whenever I tell people that, like, brows, hair,
You guys,
makeup.
our 2 girls are doing the camera. They're twins, so maybe you guys should start using that line.
We're like, no, we're not. We're not.
Right.
Just because it feels like you could never plan that. You know what I mean? And it happened so organically. Like, we just all sort of fell into these respective specialties. But we all have a very similar aesthetic in terms of what we feel is beautiful, and we like working with like the natural, like your natural, beauty features, or your natural hair, your natural brow. Like, we think that everyone looks the most beautiful with how they look naturally.
Yeah. Well, you answered so many of my next questions, and I really, that's, I think, why I feel so connected to you guys, because that's exactly my style of, that's the way how I see beauty. And I always just want to enhance someone. And I don't, like, for me, those trendy makeup trends on Instagram with the crazy brows and the crazy contour and all of that, it's just not my style. I like to just bring out naturally
also
beauty.
like a lot of work and a lot of makeup.
It's too much effort,
for
right?
us, we want to know that we can sort of get ready quickly and look and feel good without all these steps. And I think most women feel the same. Yeah,
I'm putting on the lip tint in the shade Winter, which is the clear shade, which I should have done earlier when I did your skin care. I forgot, but I love putting that on and then go in with the lip products. But I wanted to just tell you, when I do a lot of visits at like Nordstrom's and the department stores where MB Beauty is in, and I spend the day in those department stores, and I, get to meet the customer, and I get to talk to her who buys the makeup. And usually I always see 99% every woman wants the same thing. She wants to look a version better of herself. She usually doesn't really know a lot about makeup and hair, and she wants things to be easy. And she usually has 5 minutes to herself in the morning, and she wants products that are multifunctional, multi-usable, and I feel like most of us have that same sort of, so anyway.
Well, it can be fun to try all those things, right? And if maybe you're younger and you have more time, and it feels like an expression of like creativity and style. So I think that's cool,
Agreed. I think I'm not going to touch your brows because I'm intimidated to do your brows. I might touch them. I mean, they are amazing, you guys.
Thank you.
I mean, this is like a piece of art right there. I don't see that very often in my makeup career, but I'm going to have Kristie just walk us through really quickly how she does her brows, because we've got the brow queen with us. So let's have her do it.
So I usually just like brush them up first and get them in place.
Are they tinted right now?
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have, little like holes, and this is my pen.
I have to say, this pen, because a lot of people are intimidated by using a pen, but the way how you designed this product, it is like child-proof. It's really easy to use.
Yeah, you can't mess it up.
No.
It's really sheer. And if you, you go outside your brow, you just tap it out.
It's phenomenal. It's so good. And what shade is that you're using?
This is the dark brown.
Okay.
And then I'm using the medium brown in the sheer tinted.
I love a sheer
tint. And this just
tint.
adds like a little texture, a little bit of color.
Yeah.
Do you see how it just like adds that nice separation and kind of sheen to the brow?
And texture. Mm-hmm. That's what I like. It almost looks like you created even more hairs on top of it with it.
Yeah. It just adds like a nice fluff. And then sometimes I'll take the dry spoolie and just like, place them.
Gorgeous, right? Perfection. And so we have 2 products, right? We have a gel. Oh, no, there's a clear gel, there's a tinted gel, and then the pens.
And then the pen.
So it's 3 products.
Yeah, and they're kind of designed to use all together.
Yeah.
So the pen first you want to use on clean, dry skin.
Okay.
And then follow with the sheer tinted to add a little bit of color, kind of blend everything in. And then the clear Stronghold just kind of sets everything.
Okay. And then, so there's one clear. How many shades in the tinted gel?
Just the medium and the dark brown. The medium brown is mostly everybody.
Yeah.
And then like if you have really dark hair, really dark skin, you'll use the dark brown.
And the pen, how many shades?
3 shades, light, medium, and dark.
And can I just tell you, so smart, because again, me as a makeup artist, I have tried every brow product on the market. And when I see some of the brands come out with 10, 12, it's so confusing. Every shade looks like the other shade. And I love that you made it so simple. And no one is doing that, and I think it's brilliant.
I think because it is so sheer that, you know, the medium can suit a lot of people. The dark can work for a lot of people because it really kind of blends in with what you have going on. You know?
The colors are perfection, and it's all about the colors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So bravo.
I mean, after doing brows for 25 years, I feel like I really knew like what most people have, you know?
I'm going to finish it off with applying. So we just launched these lip oils, and I just showed Kristie them. She hasn't seen them. It's her first time. And they are brand new. They're just like really gorgeous sheer tinted lip oils. And
can I get a little video of you putting it on?
Oh my God, of course.
Okay?
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm going to use the shade Pfirsich. They're called in German after fruits and nuts. And the reason why is because they're filled with all these beautiful fruit oils and extracts. And Pfirsich means apricot.
Oh.
And that's the shade you chose earlier. And you can see they're sheer, but they're buildable. So you can actually do 1 or 2 coats, and you can actually create some color. And I think one super important fact is that they're not sticky. I hate a sticky liquid.
It's not sticky at all.
It's soft and supple and very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I always say, for me, makeup, it's very similar to clothes. I don't like constricted clothing where I don't feel comfortable, and I feel the same with makeup. When it's too pigmented, too heavy, then I don't feel comfortable with it. And I feel like this oil is something that is so easy to use.
Feels really nice.
You can just reapply and throw it in your purse, and you're good to go. And the doe foot, one more thing I want to mention, I put a lot of like thought into the doe foot. A lot of oils have these really thick doe foots where they're a little bit hard to be precise with them. This one has a really
slant on there.
It has a slant, so you can actually almost like create a lip line with it, and then you turn it to the flat part, and that part gives you the color application.
Genius.
So just like little details.
That's why brands that are founded by makeup artists are always so much better, or just artists themselves, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like they're just so well thought out.
Because I think the beauty of me as a makeup artist creating a product is that I had the years of experience of learning about products, you know, and using them on so many different women, and seeing the response of women, what they like and what they don't like. And that's really been super helpful.
Well, and don't you find too, as a consumer, buying products and makeup, like you would like the product or like the formula of something, but then the applicator would be annoying, or vice versa. So like to be able to create the formula with like the perfect applicator is like something that only an artist can do, because they actually know what you need, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just using the shade Renee, which is our lip liner, which you guys have in the shop as well. I like to just go, and it's not the exact same color, it's more of a nude color, but this is just so the lip oil won't transfer out to your skin, and it gives you...
So you do that after?
I like to do it afterwards.
And it goes right through the oil?
And it just goes right through the oil, and I just create a little bit of a shape with it, and I just go around it like that. And I'm just gonna finish it off with one more question, which is my favorite question. When do you feel the most beautiful?
When I'm well rested and I'm, you know, in my body, and taking good care of myself. doing all the things, right? As you get older, you really appreciate your self-care.
Yeah.
And so that for me, you know, exercising
and being healthy and feeling well.
And,
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And your makeup routine, is it sort of similar than the way how I just did your makeup?
I use the blender cover. I think I'm using the 4.
Yeah. 4.
Or the 4.5.
Yeah.
4.5.
I think you said you alternate.
Depending on and then usually mascara, brow gel, a little bit of blush. I love a blush. I'm a blush girl.
Yeah, this blush is gorgeous on you. Well, you look beautiful.
Well,
and this was so fun sitting down with you and chatting all beauty and makeup.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me.
Thank you.
Yeah.